First and foremost, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Maung Liaoming, homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Guru Tsongkhapa. Simu Tuten Siddhi Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today. The legislator Ma Wenjun, and the council from Tainan City, Mr. Tsai Wang-Quan, the academician from Academia Sinica, Professor Zhu Ziyi and Mrs. Su, the former Chief Secretary of Taiwan Government, Mr. Zheng Peifu and Mrs. Zheng, the law advisors to the Tribuddha Foundation, Ms. Jennifer Tso, Mr. Luo and Ms. Huang, and the True Buddha School Scholars Group and Medical Group, the General Manager of the Jingyi Enterprise, Ms. Zhang, and the wood sculptor, Mr. Jian, and the Executive Director of the Service Department of the Council from Kaohsiung City, Mr. Wan, Mr. and Mrs. Su Jinsui, the President of the Worldwide Lotus Light Charity Society, and the producers for the Great Perfection Dharma Lamdre and Sutra Perfect Enlightenment, Master Lian Yu, and the host, Dharma Sister Pei Jun,
my sister Lu Shengmian 女士 my sister Lu Guoyin 女士 and her husband. 中天电视台点一点上心灯节目制作人
the producer for the Illuminating Your Heart of CTITT Taiwan, Ms. Rebecca Shiachi.
感谢麦兆堂和家
And thank you to Mai Zhao Tang and family for their donation of 100,000 NT dollars.
香港真昭静和家
And from Hong Kong, Zheng Zhao Jin and family for their donation of 100,000 NT dollars. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
大家好，你好，大家好。萨瓦迪卡，坎萨米达，什么香，什么拉登丹，少几多一几，没不顾。 どうもこんにちは。Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. Why say thank you for coming? Because today is rain day. Thank you for coming. Yeah. 刚刚呢，我在去点燃附魔火的时候
Just now, when I lit the Homa fire,
中卡巴大师那里
I passed by the Guru
一刹
Tsongkhapa,
那之间
and in a split
中卡
second,
巴就跟师尊就相应
Guru Tsongkhapa was in spiritual union with Grandmaster Lu.
然后我走了几步路
After I walked a
发
few
觉他在
steps,
叫
he called
我
on
又
me,
走回来
and I walked back and joined my
跟我
palms
讲了
together.
几句话
And
我就听不懂
he spoke to me, but I could not understand. But I said I
然后是
understood.
点完附魔就走回来
And after lit
走
the
回
Homa
来上
fire,
这个法座
I came back,
我要
and
做
as I
360度的旋转
got on the altar, I had to perform the 360 degrees rotation.
不动
But
什么原因呢
it got
因为这个地毯是湿
stuck
我的这个shoes
because the carpet was wet, and my shoes, the bottom, the soles of my shoes were wet.
木头
And on the wood floor
哦总算
could not turn.
摇摇
So I tried so hard, and I had to stop 3 times.
就差点跌倒
And every time I turn, I almost fall,
上来原来是出去
almost
走
fell,
走了湿的地方你这个鞋
because
子
I stepped on
它会
water
粘在这个
outside,
就是说木板上你走不动
and my shoes got stuck on the wood floor.
回到法座中卡巴跟我讲
And when I got to the Dharma
不
throne,
要在上面旋转
Guru Tsongkhapa told me that, hey, I just told you not to make the rotation on the altar,
他说
not to turn 360 degrees.
这个是属于物理
So that's physics, because when the soles of your shoes are
因为
wet,
这个鞋底下是属于胶鞋底下是胶
because
沾了湿的
the soles of my shoes
如
were
果干的话就很好转
rubber,
转360
so I
湿
cannot
的话你用力转
turn
所有人都会
When it's dry, it's okay, but when it's wet, then you would lose your balance.
叫我说不要转我就说我知
So
道
he told me not to make the
不
turn,
知道
and I said, okay, I knew,
不知道他说
but actually I did not quite
上来
understood.
这里不要转360度你可以慢慢的
Hey, I told you not to make the 360 degrees turn. You could turn like a shoulder instead,
90度90度
90 degrees each
这
time
样子转然后来上法座
before you return to the Dharma throne.
这样
That's what he told me.
那么今天呢谢谢大家来因为今天是下
Today, thank you for coming, because it's a rainy day today.
下雨天这个开车也要大家也要小心一点
And you have to be careful driving.
我们在西雅图这个前天又下大雪，前天又下大雪，3夜已经3夜
A couple of days ago, it was still raining hard in Seattle.
3月7号就下，
On March 7th,
今天3月9号，
it was snowing, and today it's March 9th.
寒冷又下雪，这样
So we had lots of snow in Seattle this year. So of course the air was extremely nice and fresh. But the air in Taiwan, since we have the coal-generated power plant, has been bad. So the interviewer today asked me, how do you have a way to stop the air pollution? If you really have to use the coal-generated power plant, actually the nuclear plant will not have any air pollution. However, the government cannot use any nuclear plants. They have to use coal. Nowadays, the developed countries all use nuclear plants for their power. So I don't know whether we digress or not. But in reality, the coal power plant would pollute the air. Especially the plant in Taichung has 10 chimneys. So with 10 furnaces burning. So during the interview today, so what can we do about the air pollution? And my answer, the fact that smokes was generated by the furnace was because that was not clean burning, because the burning was not complete. If the burning is complete, then you will not generate so much smokes. And I hope the technology can burn all the coals completely without producing any smokes. So that's what I told the reporters. But actually, there's another way. That on top of the chimneys, you can use nets, and then you can shower water on it like rains. So when the smokes rise, you use wind to blow it to a place, and then you use like rain showers, water, like rain showers to wash it to the ground or to the ocean. Then it will not affect the air. So I answered the first part, but not the last part. So when the smokes rise, then you use water to shower on it, to make the smoke fall to the ground. And then the third way is to create the huge windmill, like a big fan, and to blow right in front of the chimneys and to blow them to the ocean. So those are the ways. Otherwise, so the scholars group of our school, many of them are in the electrical department, like Professor Wang Li and the father of Reverend Lian Ying. They know the theory of power plant, how to generate electricity, how to send it, how to burn coals to generate power, or by nuclear or wind or water. So those in the electrical engineering field would know. Although I'm not in the field, but when I just graduated from high school, before I applied to the Civil Engineering College, I was working at the Kaohsiung electrical power plant in their repair department. So I understand a little bit about electricity. And I have also worked at the Hualien electric power plant at the quality test of the power meter and the transformers. So I repair transformers, the 3,300 volts, and it would draw people in. So the high voltage that reach tens of thousands would repel people. So I was in the management of the repair department of the Hualien power plant. Once I was electrocuted by 7,000 volts of electricity. So from the hand to the feet, and then it snapped. And the whole person was wobbling because of that, I got smarter. Before I was electrocuted, I was very dumb. I studied really poorly. In junior high school, I was second to last in class, and I stayed in the same class twice. So twice I stayed in the same class. And then, of all the junior high school students who stayed in class, was gathered at the Hongjia High School of Kaohsiung. So in junior high school, I stayed in the same class twice, and then I went to that school. And all the students who had stayed in the same class gathered together in the same class, in this school, in this new school. So then I scored the best. So I became the example of all the other students who stayed behind in class. And because of that, I had the motivation to be very serious and diligent in my study. So after that, I became first in class because everybody else stayed behind. And after that, I got admitted into the Technical College of Kaohsiung. And I thought I was still an exemplar, but I was very diligent. So for 6 semesters, I was always first in class. And then I got the scholarships of the Jiaxing Cement company because I was always first in class. So that was my past. And my dad was in the power plant and was transferred by the department head to the Qingsan electric power plant. And my uncle was the HR manager. And my aunt was the business manager at the Hualien power plant. And my brother-in-law was the guest relation manager also at the Hualien power plant. And my uncle was the great department head in Taipei. And because of him, all his relatives work for the power plant. Power plants, including my younger sister and brother-in-law, they all work for the electric power plant company. My sisters work there. They all work there. And also my eldest younger sister and the third sister, Miss Lu Guiying. So we are all a family of the power plant. So, however, if we have air pollution, we should fine the power company. So I was not talking about Guru Tsongkhapa. Recently, I've been often in contact with Guru Tsongkhapa. He often visited me at my home, carrying a yellow bright light with him. The first time I was in contact with Guru Tsongkhapa was when I was expounding the development stages of Tantrayana or Ngakrim Chenmo. He appeared in the sky, radiating light and shining upon me. And I smoothly expounded the Ngakrim Chenmo, the development stages of Tantrayana, due to Guru Tsongkhapa. I completed it. And recently, he often descended. Let me tell you about his figure. Grandmaster loves children. And they told me, Grandmaster, you're so tall. Kids, of course, look at me as being very tall. The little girl would say, Grandmaster, you're so tall. And I would be really happy. Today is the tree planting day. And they said, every one of you would be like a tree, keep growing taller and taller. And I was happy hearing that. I would grow taller like the tree I planted. But I thought again, no, that's for kids, but not for me. Let me tell you a secret. Guru Tsongkhapa's height was not so tall. Right. Most Tibetans are tall, but Tsongkhapa was not tall. And I remember his ears. His ears are bigger than mine. Longer. I didn't measure them, but I know. Yeah, but his ears extend out quite huge. His face is slightly rounded, and he often smiles. He's always smiling. When he visited me and chatted with me at my home, we're like old friends. He asked me, Oh, Kirby said if you eat grains that you would be sick. He asked me, are you sick? And I said, yes, I have some ailments. However, I treat my ailments as company. I'm one with my ailments. I use my diet to correct or to adapt to my ailments. And Guru Tsongkhapa told me a secret. Your ailment is mine. It's my ailment. Really? Guru Tsongkhapa had an ailment? And then I thought of his biography. And true enough, he suffered from illness. Because at that time, the Emperor Yongle of the Ming dynasty repeatedly invited Tsongkhapa to go to Beijing to meet the emperor because he was famous in Tibet then. And his biography, he mentioned that he refused to meet the emperor with the reason of being sick. So Tsongkhapa never met the Emperor Yongle. Only one time, he sent Sakya Yese on his behalf to go to Beijing to meet the Emperor Yongle and bestowed the title, the Dharma King Ta Tzu, to Sakya Yese. So I asked Tsongkhapa, what is your sickness? Your sickness is my sickness is your sickness. And I said, oh, right. It turned out that Tsongkhapa suffered from this sickness too. His greatest protector, who stopped his calamities, was Yamantaka. So he practiced Yamantaka to stop his calamity of his life. And Grandmaster, in this life, the greatest protector is also Yamantaka. What a coincidence. We suffered from the same ailments and our protectors are the same. I also practiced Yamantaka and so did Tsongkhapa, who averted his calamity, who could take his life. So his health was not good. But he told me recently, that in my life, I never waste my time, he told me. He never wasted his life, his time. And I said, yes, the same with me. Every day I write my books, I practice, I exercise. I never waste any time. I never waste any time. All his life, Tsongkhapa said, I studied from over 30 gurus, and I told Tsongkhapa, then you win over me. I only took refuge in over 20 gurus, and he had over 30 gurus. For me, all big and small, I studied from 27 gurus, and I learned everything. The same with Tsongkhapa. He had several basic gurus, or the important gurus. One is Dontu Rinchen. When Tsongkhapa was 6, Dontu Rinchen gave lots of oxen and lambs and sheep to Tsongkhapa's parents, and his parents asked Tsongkhapa to follow him. And when he was young, he already received several announcements, empowerments. Chakrasamvara, Kuyasamaya, Yamantaka, Hevajra, Kalachakra. When he was young, he already received these empowerments of the 5 great Heruka practices. Once he grew up, he went to Lhasa. The translation in Chinese here was wrong. Tsongkhapa was in Qinghai and traveled all the way to Lhasa. And he met someone, Lama Umapa, who had psychic power, that he could communicate with Manjushri Bodhisattva. So Tsongkhapa was very fortunate to have met him. Every time he had an obstacle in his sutra studies, he would ask Lama Umapa, who in turn asked Manjushri Bodhisattva, and then Manjushri Bodhisattva used the mouth of Lama Umapa to explain to Tsongkhapa, and then he understood. So we could say that his second important guru was Lama Umapa, but the most important guru was Jejun Rentawa from the Sakya sect, who taught him Madhyamaka and logics of Pramana. And he had written lots of works, extremely numerous. And the most important one is the Lamrin Chenmo and Ngaklin Chenmo, development stages of the Bodhisattva path and on the Tantrayana path. He had written a tremendous amount of works, and all his life he spread the Buddha Dharma. He gave Dharma teachings. He's a great guru and the patriarch of the Gelugpa, the founder of Gelugpa. Lastly, he transmitted his Dharma and his position to Chachaochi, Galsap, who was also the disciple of Rentawa, who asked him to rely on Tsongkhapa. So that's why he transmitted his lineage throne to Kalshap Rinchen. And his hot son was Kadrupje. So 5 years before he left the world, Kundun took refuge in Tsongkhapa. And Kundun reincarnated to become Dalai Lama. And Kadrup reincarnated to become Panjan. And Sakya Yesu became Jechuron Tapa, which is the living Buddha of Mongolia. And the Galshap became the lineage holder of Gelugpa, which is Kanten Tripa. So it started from Galshap, the Drama Rinchen, who reincarnated to become Kanten Tripa, and all the way to the 100th Kanten Tripa, who visited me in Seattle, and together we conducted a Dharma ceremony. So the 100th Kanten Tripa and I conducted Dharma ceremony together in Seattle. And at that time, the 100th Kanten Tripa bestowed the Dharma robe that he wore to me. And also the empowerment vase, his Vajra bell and Vajra scepter, and bestowed them all to me. So that's how it was. I asked a Lama who came from there, and he's here too today, and he's outside. The Chime Geshe Lama told me that now we have the 104th Kanten Tripa. Because it's not easy to become Kanten Tripa. He had to be approved by all the Lama of the Gelugpa school, the person with the highest attainment and spiritual cultivation, to be appointed to become Kanten Tripa, which is the spiritual leader of the Gelugpa. And by that time, usually they are already in old age. And yet the 100th Kanten Tripa visited me in Seattle and conducted ceremony together. And I give him some precious items to him, and he gave me the Dharma robe, Dharma crown, Vajra bell, Vajra scepter to me, and also the black treasure pills, who he often took. So I had these lineage items from the spiritual leader of Gelugpa. And in Seattle, we have the Sakya temple, and there was a Dharma king living there, Dakjen Rinpoche. In the Sakya school, we have only 2 Dharma kings. One is Sakya Trisin, and the other one is Takchen Rinpoche in Seattle. He also visited from the Sakya temple, and together we performed the Homa ceremony. So we were sitting in front of the Homa altar together performing Homa. So in the early times we had these events. And the gurus who I took refuge in is the Zhong Rinpoche, which is Master Sakya Zengkong. So, and the Zhong Rinpoche's niece married Takchen Rinpoche. So, the Zong Rinpoche's niece married Takchen Rinpoche, and I'm the disciple of the Zhong Rinpoche. Why did I refer to him as Master Sakya Zengkong? Because the Zhong Rinpoche, the Zhong sounded like Zengkong. See, it sounded similar, right? So I referred to him as Master Sakya Zengkong. So Havajra and Lamdre were transmitted by the Zhong Rinpoche. So see how close I am to Tsongkhapa. The sickness, the height, the protector Yamantaka, all the same. And just now, he told me that he never wastes any time. And the same with me. I never waste any time. I practice every day. I write every day. I also found it interesting. I blessed Zheng Wenchang of the DPP party. He came to meet me 3 times. I gave him blessings 3 times. And then one time he met me at the Taoyuan airport when I got off the plane then. And he met me there, and I told him, "You will definitely win." And he was happy, and he felt good that he would become the mayor, and nobody else thought so. But he did become a mayor, and for 2 periods, and now he's quite famous in the DPP party. So Master Lian Ying from the Fazhou chapter can confirm. I give him personal instruction and blessings, but I don't belong to DPP or KMT. And Han Kuo-yi too received blessings from me. When I give him blessings, when he offered hatha to me, anyone there? Professor Ma Yin-wang was there to witness it. And the second blessing he received was when a letter was brought to my consultation room in Seattle, and I wrote, "Seng Yen, give the blessings on a certain date." The first time we dined together and he offered hatha to me and I gave him blessing. And the second time when I was in Seattle and I gave him blessings. And the third time when got off the plane, Professor Ma Yin-huang took his photo to me on his cell phone, and I give a blessing that wish you win your election. And Professor Mai gave me his phone, and I blessed him, and I said, wish you win the election. You become mayor of Kaohsiung, and now he became like this. See, the two people that I give blessings from the two different parties, and now they are equally blessed. And Mr. Han Kuo-yi now is always on the news every day. Very popular. Many fans. He has many fans. There's this joke. Chen Qimai asked a great master, I want to be in the election. Can you predict my future? And the master said, are you rich? And Chen Qimai said, yeah, should be. Yeah, I have money. Why don't you buy more jackets or down jackets? And Chen Qimai thought, what is that related to the election? And the great master replied, because the cold front is here, and the cold sounded Han in Chinese, which is the Han Kuo-yi. Now they say it's like the fat of Han, which is like the cold front. See, anyone blessed by Grandmaster always give good results. That's also strange. I bless Han Kuo-yi. At that time, we dined together. We didn't talk very much. We just ate our meals. And all I said was, hey, Mr. Han Kuo-yi, your daughter is beautiful. If he remembered, the first thing I told him is that your daughter is extremely beautiful, because Grandmaster always admires beautiful ladies. In the future, if you try to find my reincarnation, you can ask the little kid, what do you like most? And if I answer beautiful ladies, then that would be me. Grandmaster Lu has no shortcomings. Grandmaster is a very fine gentleman. I'm very diligent in my practice and in my life. But the only shortcoming is don't let me see any beautiful ladies. So where was I talking about Tsongkhapa? But let me tell you, Tsongkhapa never practiced the dual consort practice. He had attainment through single body practice. So in Tantrayana, you can have the same attainment even if you practice on your own or in single body. Unless you already reach a non-leaking yogi and you comprehend the empty nature completely, and also non-leaking, two important requirements. And also for the consorts, she has to understand or comprehend the empty nature, and their spiritual cultivations has to be high, and they have signs of a Dakini. Then they could meet the requirement. Otherwise, it's very difficult. If the practice fails, then you would fall into the Vajra hell. That's why Guru Padmasambhava said that this practice is like getting a pole from a poisonous snake. You should be very careful. And Tsongkhapa had attainment through a single body practice. So he's truly great, and he put great importance on precepts, and Geluk also means precepts or sila. So that's how great he is. Tsongkhapa said he studied Madhyamaka and also Yogacara and also logic, or the science of logic. And he had many gurus and studied the Abhisamayalankara, the Abhidharma Kosa, Madhyamaka Vatara, Pramana Vatara, and also the Sila, Mula Sastra or Vinaya. So he studied all the 5 great treatises, and he produced numerous works, and Grandmaster has written 272 books. So Guru Tsongkhapa told me, I don't waste any time, and you don't waste any time either. And as we know, the deity yoga of Tsongkhapa, you all know, right? His image, both hands form the mudra of turning the Dharma wheel, not teaching Dharma, turning the Dharma wheel. But both of the hands are holding a lotus blossom, and on top of one of the lotus is the precious sword or prajna sword of Manjushri Bodhisattva, and the other lotus on top of it is sutras, many sutras. So this is the image of Tsongkhapa, and that one is Atisha. This one is Tsongkhapa. So we have the statue of Tsongkhapa right here, with this dignified image, mantra. So the mantra, for the mantra chanting practice, visualization and mudra, which is the mudra of turning the Dharma wheel. Then you can practice it to purify the body, speech and mind. Once you gain spiritual union with him, then you can practice the inner tantra. Typically speaking, it is easier to practice the inner tantra after you gain spiritual union. However, some people prefer to practice the inner tantra before they attain spiritual union while they are practicing the deity yoga. The beginning, you practice the 4 preliminary practices, Root Guru Yoga and the Yidam Yoga, deity yoga. Then it would be easy once, like Grandmaster had a spiritual union with his Yidam, Golden Mother, then you can be in spiritual union with all the deities. How do you gain spiritual union with him? Like I said, with single-mindedness, concentration, meditation. You have to focus all the thoughts in your mind to become one. When it's focused on one, then the light, clear light will appear. The light in the sky will appear. When you're single-minded, then your body will naturally be purified and the light can shine on you. So the content of the 272 books the 272nd book title is the touch of the pure light. The caress and the touch of the pure light on you. So once you are in union with one deity, then you would be in many deities. And then if you practice inner tantra, then it would be easy to have attainments. Now let me talk about the continuum of the pure methods, the continuum of the pure wisdom, and the continuum of all sorts of pure methods and wisdom. As I said last week, that belongs to the exterior. Now it's to the interior. You know, it's very superfluous, very lengthy, winded. It's very difficult to describe. At that time, the Zhong Rinpoche told me, there's no need to look at the bottom part, and there's no need to talk about it. This is already about the first, second, and third fruits, and they are very deep and profound. So, if you can be in spiritual union with your Yidam through your Dhamma practice, then you're guaranteed to go to the Buddha, to the pure Buddha lands. However, in terms of the channel, slide, drop, and chi practice, if you have attainment, then you can attain Buddhahood in this body, in this lifetime, without the guiding of the Yidam. Because through your inner Tantra practice, you can generate your own Buddha nature and the pure light. So that's why what's written here is rather high level. And at that time, Guru Padmasambhava hid this stuff inside my brain. And Master Sakya Tsongkhong told me, there's no need to read this. He did not explain it to me. Let me read it. Like the third empowerment, act with even body and speech. So, body, speech, and mind are pure and even. then in a split second, the skillful means and wisdom are executed. In Hevajra, it's called the Great Instruction Sutra of great compassion and wisdom of empty nature. So skillful means is compassion. Wisdom is the wisdom of emptiness, empty nature. The ambrosia of the father and mother descend to the pistil area. So who are the father and mother? The father is the white body and the mother is the red body. All are pure and descend to the pistil of the flower. What's that? So the pistil of the lotus. Now if you can get it, you get it. At the lower part of the central channel, like mist arising on a mountain, water flowing into the pond. So what is this mist arising on the mountain? That's the qi. And water flowing into the pond. So the light drop, the size of a mustard seed, is very wide at the most supreme place. And what is the most supreme place? That's the secret chakra that transforms into light, rises from the right blood channel to the navel chakra. And at the navel chakra, like a rising sun, the light enlarges and brightens. So the brightness is like a rising sun. So it's like lungs filled with air rising, like full. When you exhale, then it would deplete. Then visualize it travels in the right channel up to the heart chakra, and in the same 3 ways as mentioned above. Then it travels again to the throat chakra, and your mind dwells on the ways mentioned above. It travels again to the right ear, and the right ear would emit light. And this light generates the yidam and his mandala, or the mandala of the yidam. And we often took pictures of the prajna light, and inside the prajna light is a mandala. If you enlarge it, you can tell, you can see the mandala, the altar inside it. The fourth empowerment is the continuum for all sentient beings, to let them become the yidam. The generated yidam interacts with the generated light, and they become amrita essence and enters into the central channel through the opening at the tip of our heads. So the light that's emitted would shine upon all sentient beings. In Tantrayana, there's this visualization. The light that you emit shines like the friends and teachers behind you, and relatives and ancestors from the father side on your right, from the mother side on your left, and then the karmic creditors and enemies in front of you, and you use this light to shine upon all of them, and then you collect the light again and focus it and enter into yourself through the tip of your head. These are all methods. So from the opening at the apex of your head, it becomes nectar and enter into your central channel again. So it's a cycle here. So the single body practice is 1, and the dual body practice is a circle. It's a cycle. If I said, I have explained this before. Then visualize the crown chakra in the 3 ways above, and the light turns color into red, and it descends to the throat chakra. It is like the bright radiance of 1,000 suns, and it descends to the heart chakra. By our continuum, it transforms into the signs of the 5 bodies. So 5 bodies. What are they? To the acharyas. So please tell me, what are the 5 bodies? The functional body, dharma flow body, the great power of this body. There are a total of 5 bodies. You search on it. Anytime you have attainments, you would have these 5 bodies. And the light changes into 5 rainbow colors. And what are they? White at the brow chakra, red at the throat chakra, blue at the heart chakra, green at the navel chakra, yellow at the secret chakra. So white, red, blue, green, and yellow. Right. In Tantrayana. Yellow at the secret chakra. So 5 different colors. And below the navel chakra, due to the fact that the ambrosia accumulates there, the pure path of the channel starts at the navel. It is the same for the lotus palace of the Buddha Mother. It dwells at the form of the light drops. So light drops and qi and light would dwell there. When the right wave solidifies in the right channel of the blood, one attains self-mastery of the exerted qi. It is the initial fruit. So the first fruit, called the gate to the empty liberation. When it moves inside the left channel, one can solidify the wave and adjust it inside the left channel of the semen, and one attains the self-mastery of the life qi. It is the second fruition, called the gate of wishless liberation. If it's done inside the central channel, the solidifying 2 waves purify the central channel, and one attains the self-mastery due to its dwelling there. It's the third fruition, called the gate of formless liberation. And the first fruition on the right channel, the second is on the left channel, and third is on the central channel. Once you purify all of them, then you would attain 3 fruitions when the 3 channels are completely purified.
好，我再讲一点啊，如是以当了知智慧之相系。
So the continuum of the pure wisdom. So from the two channels to the two ears and emitted outward, and then through the central channel, through the apex of the crown, you retract it back. And the mind is the same. And these three waves solidify to purify the three channels that she enters, dwell, and exit. And then you gain self-masteries. And then you gain all the gate to the liberations. So now you understand, right? You should. This one is pretty easy. I understand. However, if I speak according to what's written here, you would not understand. So that's why Master Sakya Tsongkhong told me, please don't read this. Then how I learned it? How should I learn it then? Because it's already hidden inside your brain by Guru Padmasambhava. Then of course you know. First the right channel, and then the left channel, and then the central channel. And then you purify them all. And then you can emit it through the ears. And then you bless all the sentient beings, and then it returns through your central channels, through the tip of your head. And that's the three doors to liberation. So you liberated the right channel first, the left channel, and then the central channel. So that's the three doors to the liberation, and that produces three fruitions. So now it's 5:05, it's still early. So you lie wherever you fall. It's not where you get up. It's not so often that you fall. So when you fall, then you should just lay there. Why do you struggle to get up? I want to sell my house to travel around the world, but the landlord did not permit it. Of course not, because the house did not belong to you. You want to travel around the world, but the house does not belong to you. If you want to travel around the world, then you want to be in spiritual union with the Yidam, then the Yidam will bring you to travel around the world. Don't be scared how people are looking at you, because nobody cares. Nobody are looking at you. Many people think they are very important, that many people are paying attention to them. But that's not what I think. I don't think I am so important, and I don't think people are noticing me. That's how I often think. Then you have no pressures. If you have pressures, if you think that everybody is paying attention to you, then you would feel that pressure. But if you have no pressures, then you just do what you want. You walk as you like. You do as you like. As a spiritual cultivator or as a sadhaka, I do my practice and to have my own attainments. Nobody knows. Don't worry. Don't care about what other people think of you. What other people think of you. So if other people give you pressures, return the pressures back to them. That's what I would say. Nowadays, people have pressures from work, from their position, from their family, lots of them. So if you can't avoid them, let them press on you. and I don't feel it because I'm one with the pressures. Do you know how to be one with your pressures? Once you do that for a long time, you don't feel it anymore. But if you reject the pressures getting more. If you accept them and you transform it to become nothingness, that's my method. See, there's no pressures here. This year, I celebrate the Valentine's Day on my own. That's fine. Because after a few years, I'll get used to it. That's true. What's so big deal about being on your own? After a while, you get used to it. If you accept your pressures, and after a while, you get used to it, and after you get used to it, it's become nothing. When the job is unfinished, you continue it tomorrow. If you're lucky, you would die tomorrow, then you would not have to continue to complete it. That's true. Everybody will die eventually. Why are you so serious? But we cannot say that. For me, every day I would do my work. So I will complete my work for the day, and afterwards I will not think about it. And then the next day I will continue bit by bit. So every day I do my work. I finish my duty, my work. Then I have peace of mind. Tomorrow you would have a turning point, but after you're being turned, you're still the same. Otherwise, what would you become? So that's why let me teach you. In Buddhism, there's this phrase, just be open mind and then let go, and then you're free. So if you can't open your mind, then you can't let it go, then you're not free. So if people ignore me, I ignore them. Then we're equal, we're even. Why do we make trouble for myself? Because even when I turn, I'm still Seng Yen Lu. Doesn't matter if I turn and I don't lack anything, and you don't lose anything either. So all are equal. On the public bus, there are many people who don't have seats. What should they do? And so we wake someone that's sleeping and say, "Hey, it's your stop." And then he would immediately woke up and ran off the bus. And this worked really well. How did I know? Because someone did that to me, and I want to know who. So we have many different ways. The same thing in our Buddhist studies. There's many different paths or gates. If this doesn't work, you can always walk another path. So when the mountain doesn't move, the people can move. And there are many ways to roam. Many different Dharma. And once you have attainment in one Dharma practice, then you will have attainments in all Dharma practices. All those Dharma practices were created by human beings because they walked that path. And so they created it. For for the future people. The reporter asked someone, so what made you determined to lose weight? And he replied, because it was really hot that day, I got a heat stroke and fainted. Oh, because of the heat stroke? You decided to lose weight? No. Because when they carried me into the ambulance, they yelled, they shouted, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up. And then until I regained my consciousness, and I still couldn't get onto the ambulance. That was a joke. That's quite funny. Someone asked inside the house, how should I live my life? And the roof replied, you should be high. And the clock said, you have to treasure your time. And the wallet said, you need to think twice. And the air conditioner said, you have to be cool and calm. And the mirror said, you have to be reflective upon yourself. This is good. We have to be introspective and reflective and repent. And every day we have to be diligent. Every day we have to be cool and calm. And the mind is never chaotic. We have to be focused and single-minded. And our assets or resources, we have to weigh the income before overspending, before spending. And sadhaka has to treasure our time. And the roof said we have to look far and high, look to the future. And most importantly, we have to see our own Buddha nature that emits from your own hearts, that can merge with the light of the universe. Then you would be able to attain the true everlasting life. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.